Map is 1-9 right now. Pressure's on.
It's a beautiful wife, Teresa Viola. Anthony, my good buddy.
Everything's good. Everything's good. We're very excited, and I think we're set to run well.
Yeah, I'm getting nervous. Nervous on the inside. Outside, still calm.
And we'll start with Liam's Map, who again, he has thrived at this mile distance. The 3 wins by a combined 22 3/4 lengths.
Only one favorite has won this race in its 8-year history. Jerry, with this horse, it's as fast as you can, as far as you can, basically.
That's exactly right. And if he's anywhere near where he was this summer, he's going to beat these horses.
They're all in line. We are ready for the start. They're off in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, and Liam's Map did not have a good start, and he's steady just after the break, so he's behind the 8 ball here. It's Breakster and Mr. Z, and these two go out to the front. And then on the outside, it's Lee, so Liam's Map will have to sit fourth early on. It was not a good break for him at all. Then Street Strategy, followed by War Envoy, and on the far outside, Tapiture goes up with a wide rally on that first turn. And then it's Red Vine to the inside. Valid, Wicked Strong off the pace. War Stories last. 23 flat was the opening quarter mile. A solid fraction there for Breakster and Corey Lannery. And unexpectedly, they will lead the field up the backstretch. Mr. Z is second. Now, there goes Lee on the outside. Liam's Map wanted to go in there, but he couldn't. And Liam's Map had to take back again. Javier Castellanos got him in fourth behind the leading trio up the backstretch and through a half mile in 46 1/5 seconds. Tapiture is fifth on the outside. And then comes Valid. Closing through is Red Vine down toward the rail. He's going to squeeze through on the inside of Liam's Map, who's really in trouble at this point. Breakster is the leader. Mr. Z and Lee are right alongside as they round the far turn. And then it's Tapiture. Valid on the far outside is put to the whip. Liam's Map behind a wall of horses in traffic, and Red Vine too, no place to go. And Lee has emerged with the lead as they come to the top of the stretch in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile.
Map overcoming a nightmare trip and becoming the 9th Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile champion.
Javier Castellano on Liam's Map was in more trouble than Whitey Bulger. I mean, it started at the break. He got away a little slow. Then he was behind horses running off, had the steady off heels. Then he had a little seam about the half-mile pole. It looked like those jocks on the inside opened it. And then they shut it, so he had to steady it again, did Castellano. Then he had to circle the field and still run down Lee at a short wire.
As confident as Todd Pletcher is in Liam's Map, I promised you halfway around the turn he thought the horse had absolutely no chance. There it is again. Liam's Map at the start. Now keep in mind, he was expected to be in front of this field comfortably, and he just gets away sluggishly.
Yeah, he just stood there for a half a second, and these are other fast horses in here. Mr. Z's fast, Bracer on the inside's fast, and these jockeys know that.
If you're watching and you're not that big of a horse racing fan, you're thinking, okay, so he just sits back a little bit and he waits and then he goes. It's psychological with a horse like Liam's Map. He wants to be in front. He's accustomed to being in front.
I think we just saw why Javier Castellano has won the Eclipse Award for leading rider in the United States the last 2 years. Javier, you had to overcome a nightmare of a trip. Just talk to me from the beginning. At the start, things went awry. Talk to me from the start.
Unfortunately, the first jump, he didn't brake sharply. I had to make my decision to take him back a little bit, but keeping it clear. And the bus had a lot of trouble in the race. I had to check a little bit on the home. I try to find the best scene for the horse. I don't want to squeeze the lemon early and try to ride a lot of patience. He paid off today.
The difference between a good horse and a great horse is that they can go to plan B, but sometimes horses who are used to being on the lead just don't like to come from off the pace. Was there ever a question in your mind about whether or not he was going to respond for you today?
Not at all. I mean, it's an amazing horse he showed today. He got great skill today. He put a great effort, put it behind the horses. He set it down beautiful. He gave me a good run today.
You had a lot of trouble, though. Was there a question in your mind whether or not you would ever get out?
I just ride with a lot of patience. I think that's the key to win some races once in a while. And when you ride the best horse in the country, I think, I believe he pay off.
Let's go to Jay Friedman.
And I'm with trainer Todd Pletcher. Todd, take me through the emotions of watching that race.
The one thing Javier and I spoke about in the paddock before the race was he's not always real quick the first step. And, with the complexion of the race, a short run to the first turn, we want to make sure he broke well. And unfortunately he didn't. And then he was kind of in behind horses. Javier was doing everything he could. He got pinched back in the middle of the backstretch there about the 5/8 pole. I thought it was a tremendously impressive effort.
Was there a point going down the backside when he had to ease back there where you thought we're in big trouble here?
Yeah, I mean, I was concerned the whole way. The one thing that kept giving me some encouragement is every time something went wrong, he responded by jumping back into the bridle. So it was a great effort by a great horse.
On behalf of Las Vegas, congratulations on this thrilling victory of the Las Vegas Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile.
Mrs. Viola, congratulations. How worried were you during the race based on the way it unfolded early on?
Not at all. I knew he could do it. He did it every time. He's just a spectacular horse.
Mr. Viola, were you equally as confident?
I probably wasn't quite as confident, having been to the betting windows my whole life. But this race is dedicated to the servicewomen and the servicemen of our armed forces, particularly the special forces of the United States Army. And this horse has been inspired by his namesake, Colonel Liam Collins. And this is an American hero, and I want to acknowledge him this great day where America puts its best forward. So,
Mr. Collins, Liam's Map named for you. How special was it to watch something like this unfold today?
That was a pretty amazing accomplishment where the horse just really turned on there and did what it had to do to win.
Congratulations and thank you for your service. Terry Finley, co-owner, West Point Thoroughbreds. You've been in the military yourself. Special thing for you to have a horse named after Liam's like this to win this race?
I thought it'd be pretty special to be in the winner's circle. I can tell you it's a lot better than I thought it was.
You seem like you're getting pretty emotional.
Well, this is an emotional time. You win the Breeders' Cup. I mean, that's the key, and I can't believe we're here. It's amazing.
Congratulations to you, Todd Pletcher, Javier Castellano, and the Violas. Liam's Map wins the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile.
Mr. and Mrs. Viola, let's start with you and talk about that very difficult trip. Liam's Map boxed in almost the entire way. Your thoughts while you were watching the race?
Teresa?
I was not worried about it. He's done that before, and I knew he would be fine. He's once he gets his point, he'll just put it all out there. He wasn't ready to really put it all out there.
Vincent, is it safe to say that maybe you weren't quite so confident?
I quite frankly, I wasn't as confident. But I did see at the top of the stretch how he was sort of turning. His stride was really comfortable. And with Liam, he's really running when his head sort of drops sort of very comfortably but far forward. And once I saw him with that stride, that far forward stride, it reminded me of the first time we saw him breeze on J.J. Krupe's farm. And it was just a whole nother level of performance. So once I saw that, I got a little bit more confident.
Yeah. Terry, I mean, with the way this horse looks, it's safe to say that probably every jockey in the race knew exactly where he was. He was a target. Talk about the trip and what you were thinking as you were watching them come around the turn with nowhere to go.
Well, I tell you, the thing I was thinking about is I was standing in the box right next to Liam Collins, and I saw a Special Forces officer jumping up and down. They were supposed to be cool and collected. And I said, this is a magical game. And I was very proud to stand next to you.
Yeah.
And now can we talk about Liam's Map's future as far as, was this definitively the last race?
Oh, yeah, he's going to get on a wonderfully comfortable van and head over to his new home, permanent home at Lane's End with the Farishes, and we are humbled and honored that they would have an interest in standing out Stallion. I mean, with their contribution and history in the game, it's heralded. So, and I think today Liam showed something very special. He might be able to throw all kind of different style runners. So yeah, so we got Lane's End, and you could talk to Mr. Farish, but I think we're pretty excited about his chances.
And now that this race is over, there was obviously some debate about which race to go into. Can you talk about that decision and now how it feels after the race has been run?
Well, Teresa made that decision. So why were you so certain about the mile? I guess.
I just think, he was a big fish in a little pond, or a little fish in a big pond, and I knew he could do the mile, and just felt confident that he would win.
I felt it was his natural distance.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a good choice.
And for those that haven't heard, can one of you tell us a little bit about Liam's Map's name and Liam Collins?
Well, to my left is a true American hero. Teresa and I were eyewitnesses to the events of 9/11, and following those events, we chose to propose to the United States Army and the Military Academy the creation of a combating terrorism center at West Point, which we pledged to permanently endow. And I met Liam while he was the associate executive director, and he later became the executive director. We have a tradition in the United States Army: when new folks come to a unit or a group, they're hailed, they're welcomed, and when folks leave, they're farewelled. So the ceremony is called a hail and farewell, and Liam served as our executive director. He was moving on to a permanent professorship at the academy. So at that ceremony, we presented Liam a memento, and during his parting words, and I think he'll maybe explain the significance of it, he presented me with a gift. So on that, if the racing world will tolerate it, you might describe what you gave me.
Yeah, so he'd been such a great supporter and really great American and given a lot to the academy and to the to the nation. And so I thought, what can I give a guy that's given so much to us? And so what I came up with was a map that I jumped into Afghanistan with. So we jumped into Afghanistan in November of 2001. And so I explained what it was, kind of a silky map that you could take with you, and it has you could use it if you have to escape and evade. It's serial numbered. So if you did get, if it got separated from you, and you would know whose it was and where they had been. And so that's what I gave to Vinny when I was leaving as a a small token of appreciation. And then later he told me he named a horse after me, and at first I felt pretty humbled, and then it scared me half to death. And all I could say is I hope it runs a heck of a lot faster than I ever ran. So I think my fastest mile was 4:09, so at least it's faster than I am.
And it sounds like you were pretty excited watching the race.
Yeah, I was kind of in Vinny's camp, not Teresa's camp, so I was a little more worried until the last straightaway.
All right, folks, we have a question here from Tom.
Liam's Map has won several times, and given the fact every time he made a move, he was stopped, maybe 2-3 times. It's like an engine being turned on and being shut off. Yeah. Would you rate this the most impressive of all his wins?
I would say unequivocally this was his most impressive race. He handled disruptions to his pace. He handled, quite frankly, disruptions from his perspective, where he was vis the other horses, and he displayed a pace, an ability to pace that I think it's a new dimension to him, quite frankly. I mean, I think breeders should take note of that. I think this was his best race. And someone told me, even though it's few times tested, he broke the track record for this mile configured at Keeneland, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And Terry and Teresa and Vinny, I would like all of you just to tell us what it's like to win your first Breeders' Cup race. Terry, let's start with you.
Well, I thought it'd be pretty cool, but it's a lot better than I even thought. So, I mean, this is what we talk about. We talk and we think about as if you're in the ownership business about winning, the big ones, right? The Triple Crowns and the Metropolitan Mile and the Woodward and the Whitney, and as soon as we get through the summer, we start thinking about standing in the winner's circle for the Breeders' Cup, and I can't believe we did it together. I'm so proud of this team.
Thank you.
Great team.
Teresa,
Good
your
team.
thoughts?
Well, Terry's been just an unbelievable friend, taught me a lot, had patience with me a lot, and I think we'll do well for our future too.
And Vinny, you've been involved with team sports at a very high level, so can you talk about owning horses?
I wished today for every young boy who attends the races with his dad like I did, that they could share and experience these feelings that I am today. I wish for that for every young American son and daughter, quite frankly.
Liam's Map somehow overcoming the poor start, overcoming the traffic going into the far turn, and winning, going away. Liam's Map as the favorite, and a salute to the crowd here at Keeneland from Javier Castellano.